What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to On the Topic Of. And this week, instead of talking about a piece of video game news, we're going to be talking about a game that came out this week that I was pretty excited for by the name of Homefront the Revolution, that was released to some lackluster reviews, and for pretty good reason. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So where exactly do we begin with Homefront the Revolution? Number one, I was really excited about it, and not because of the gameplay or because of the way the game looked, but because of the story that the game was presenting, and it's something that I've always been kind of interested in, and that's that dystopian kind of future, kind of like The Man in High Castle if you're into Amazon TV shows. But pretty much within Homefront the Revolution, a Korean government has entered the United States, overthrown the government, and pretty much taken control over the majority of the land. There are several pockets that have maintained democracy and kind of pushed back the Korean, insurgents or whatever. However, the majority of the United States is now under control of the Korean government, which is, needless to say, a bad thing in the grand scheme of things whenever we're all about freedom and democracy and that kind of thing. So now in the game, you pretty much play as a newcomer to the revolution who is trying to not only prove himself to his comrades, but also work to overthrow the Koreans that have taken over the United States. I find it to be a very interesting story. Some people might say otherwise, and unfortunately, according to most reviewers and a lot of people that I do trust in the gaming industry, the game is just flat out boring at some points, in fact, the majority of points. So I wasn't really even going to mention Homefront the Revolution in this week's episode of On the Topic Of. However, after hearing some news about what was at the end of Homefront the Revolution, I did feel compelled to at least say something, and that is the fact that at the end of the game, there is a word from the game director, which I'm going to read a part of right now. Homefront the Revolution has been in development for just over 4 years, and as some of you may be aware, the path has not always been a smooth one. Several reboots, the original publisher going into liquidation, the development studio changing ownership, I could go on, and he goes on to thank everyone that's been in the development process and those that have stuck with him throughout the years, and all of that good stuff, and it is a very heartfelt message, and you can tell that it does come from the heart itself. However, this does more than just, make a statement thanking everyone that's put some time and effort into the game, and for the fans that have stuck by the franchise. It just goes to show that although Homefront the Revolution is not a perfect game by any means, and it's not a great game by most people's standards, the game itself has been through a lot throughout the course of its development, and to me it's even a miracle that it made it to store shelves. What I really hope people see through this development cycle that Homefront the Revolution has had is that whenever you see a bad game, or a game that doesn't look that great, or a game that doesn't run that well, or perhaps the story's a little bit lackluster, instead of just saying that it's a crappy development team who wasn't passionate about the project they were working on, you should definitely consider that there may have been a little bit more drama going on behind the scenes, because everything that the development team for Homefront the Revolution has been through in the past couple of years, most development teams couldn't imagine going through in the entirety of their careers. So is the game great? Certainly not. Is the game bad? Not by a long shot. I feel like it's actually worth probably between 15 and 20 bucks if we're being realistic about this entire situation. However, all of that's beside the point. I wanted to take a moment to thank the guys at the development team for at least finishing out what they were working on. They finished what they were starting. And that's something that's pretty admirable, because it would have been really easy to just abandon the project and work on something else, or even for certain members of the team to leave and go use their, resources and reallocate their creativity at another studio with another team and work on something that would have inevitably been more profitable and more successful. However, they didn't do that. They stuck with it until the end, and that is something that definitely deserves a pat on the back, even if the game isn't that great. They finished what they started, and that's awesome. So there you guys have it. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of On the Topic Of. If you did, drop me a like down below and share this video so that more people can find my channel. And if you happen to be new to the channel, or you've never seen any of my other content, I do upload new stuff like 3 or 4 days a week depending on the week, so there's always something new right here on the channel to watch whenever you do drop by to watch some videos. And as always, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.